Hi, Internet! And welcome back to Kid Movie Ninja with your hosts, Fighting Leaf and Husky the Wolf. So, we've been really wanting to get back into the Lion Guard for quite some time now. In fact, the primary cause of our previous hiatus was the fact that, while we wanted to cover more, we felt pressured to cover other things. But we didn't wanna! The show's great in spite of its imperfections, and y'all won't shut up about how amazing Season 3 turned out. But before we get to that, there's a lot of groundwork we still need to lay. So, let's take a look at the more important bits of Season 2 as we lay the foundation for the Lion Guard, Season 3. I am the Kid Movie Ninja. We're gonna focus on episodes we haven't talked about in other videos, starting with some basic events in episode 16, Divide and Conquer. The episodes we're choosing basically revolve around changes made to the status quo in the series, something relatively rare for this genre. The episode starts with both the hyenas and a family of jackals, recurring villains we've never talked about on the show, attacking different parts of the Pride Lands at the same time. This is really unusual at this stage in their story, and after cleaning up both attacks by splitting up, we learn that the whole thing was set up by the reconstituted Scar. It's important to know that at this point in the story, no one but the Outlanders know that Scar is actually back.
Wait. What is any of this? The last video you made was about over 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
Right. So, we have a lot of recapping to do in that time. Simba had a son named Kion who gained superpowers and put together a team called the Lion Guard, had some adventures keeping the Circle of Life safe.
What's the Circle of Life?
Shut up! Some stuff happens and Kion accidentally revives the spirit of Scar without realizing it, and now Scar gives orders to the Outlanders to undermine the Pride Lands. There, you're all caught up. Go watch my other videos if you want any more context for these. Actually, in fact, just go ahead and watch The Lion Guard. Expect a show made for 7-year-olds with really mediocre songs that is still somehow really good in spite of that. Now, where were we? Right, the double attack was orchestrated by Scar himself. Owner the Egret sees them grouping up, but is not sure why. When he reports this to the team, Kion puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that something is up. Then they're going to need a plan to deal with this in the future. I've said it before, but I'll say it again, I really do appreciate how intelligent they let characters be in this Y7 show. Except for zebras. Right, zebras are dumb as rocks.
That's racist.
If anyone else knows of any children's programming with such competent characters, please let me know in the comments below.
You're right. What are
Lucky
we
for us, we have an idiot on our team.
We just have to be in 2 places at once.
Fortunately, Kion knows how to actually make that happen. A character from a previous episode we haven't actually seen, but don't need to because...
If it's important, I'll find out.
The rest of the episode isn't actually important for our purposes, though it is a fun one to watch. All you need to know is that from here on out, enemy behaviors change permanently. Yeah, after that, the show stops throwing out one baddie group at a time, giving them more coordinated missions for the rest of the season. And again, especially to the YouTube bots who are watching us right now, our show is not meant to be a substitute for the source material. There's a lot of good stuff we're glossing over here, and even the episodes that don't advance the plot are still fun to watch. Still bitter about the Pokemon review? Gee, and here I thought I was being subtle. But yeah, it's not just the fact that the baddies attack together from now on. We'll discuss more of the major changes after a little bit more context. The very next episode, number 17, is called The Scorpion Sting. Here, the Pridelanders gather up to celebrate the defeat of Scar from the original movie. Scar, however, has plans of his own, and rather than send his armies toward them, he sends a stealth infiltrator instead, the eponymous scorpion Sumu. Who can actually talk and has lines like normal animals, so if arthropods like him are sentient, does that mean that normal bugs are too? And if so, does that mean Timon and Pumbaa have the highest on-screen body count of any Disney character ever? And if it is, are they in fact some kind of murdered cannibal? This is clearly something the show didn't really want us to think too much about. But if they didn't want us to think about it, they probably should have presented it a little bit differently. Like, instead of having him be an actual, character with lines and such, perhaps use the Vulture clan to just drop him from a great height. Vulture's dropping stuff, foreshadowing, blah. Anyway, being as small as he is, Sumu slips into Pride Rock while everyone is gathered there to sing what is perhaps the best song in the series so far. So of course the episode made it one of the shortest. I hate everything ever!
I actually knew all those things. Leaf just needed me to be...
Woo, boy, yep. That'll happen from time to time around here. Watch your step! Anyway, Sumu sneaks onto Simba's tail and then stings him, causing him to fall over at the funniest time possible. Unintentional humor. Rafiki checks up on him and says that they only have until sundown to administer the only possible cure, which is volcanic ash. We are not doctors. Therefore, we have no idea of the efficacy of something like that. I know! I mean, he didn't get hurt at all during his previous appearance, so we're just making up for that. Like we said, if you want details, watch the episode itself. All you need to know is two things. First off is that Scar set this plan up to take out both Simba and the Lion Guard at once. Which goes to show that Scar knows what he's doing every step of the way. The only reason this plan fails is because...
Scorpion! Look out! Coming through! Oh, watch it.
This is what he has to work with. Second, it is this moment where the Lion Guard and eventually the royal family all learn about Scar's involvement. And you want to know the best part about this episode? I seem to recall the words of an old, cynical ninja spoken back in the distant land of 2022. Kion regains his confidence and even more control over the roar than before, which I honestly hope they use again at some point, but I'm not holding my breath. Man, your hair was so short then. Hold on to that clip though, because it will become relevant. Scar springs a trap, surrounding the guard with enemies at the mouth of the volcano. Normally, Kion would just use his Roar of the Elders as a get-out-of-death-free card, but Scar reminds him that it triggers eruptions when this close to a volcano. Clearly he did not watch Season 1, Episode 21, where Kion unlocked a new ability that the writers just remembered he had. Kion does what he did in that episode and blasts the others away with smaller, more focused roars, something that Scar had no idea he could do. And that is why knowing your enemy is so vital. Scar's plans have no chance of success unless he has all of the relevant information. Which is a major theme in episode 23, the Hyena Resistance. In that episode, fan favorite Jasiri the Hyena learns about Scar's return. Coincidentally, all of Scar's plots and plans that day get screwed up all over again. And it's not even the Lion Guards doing this time. That's because Jasiri set up a resistance movement in the Outlands to sabotage him at every turn. Eventually that stops working because these little skinks tattle on her. They are actually in a lot of episodes and are Scar's primary source of information. They're like little ninjas. Except without the YouTube channel that goes on hiatus for years at a time. Also, Ask a Ninja's back. Yeah! Now, the real reason this matters, and what I'm sure you all care about, is this moment right here.
Why? Why did you help me?
You and your clan don't have to be on Scar's side, Janja.
I don't think so. We ain't the same, Jasiri.
We'll see.
That little clip right there is perhaps the single biggest reason we need to cover all the episodes that we're talking about today. There's more stuff that matters, but this is the biggest thing we need for Season 3. Subscribe and hit that bell notification to be made aware of when we actually get around to actually talking about it. Also buy our trading card game. We worked hard on that thing. Link in the description! Season 2, Episode 26, Pridelanders Unite, is when we really start to see the effects of Scar's influence across the Pridelands. See, even though the Lion Guard's been stopping Scar's plan at every turn, the frequency of attacks from so many directions has everyone constantly on edge. This is actually a real ecological term called the environment of fear, when predators cast a lot of influence over prey behavior. Thanks to Unnatural History Channel for teaching us all those big words. Anyway, the point is that even though Scar's plans haven't worked yet, he's still making progress, just very slowly. Kion decides that since Outlanders have formed an army, the Pridelanders need to form one of their own to counter them. Just one problem. The herds can't stand each other. Hey, that's kind of like our team. Yeah, what are you talking about? We're total besties over here.
No, we're not. Hey! I give up.
Total besties. And that's the canonical reason why I've never actually harmed Rugburn on camera before. There's a bit of trivia for you nerd lords that care about that jank. But yeah, people just can't get their acts together. Not even the reformed McCoo can get these guys to fight properly.
Reverse tail whip. Now!
Cause he don't understand a little thing called anatomy. But we all know how these things go. Stuff happens, they get their act together, and suddenly there's more hope for the Pridelands than ever, yada yada. Watch the episode for yourselves. One more episode, guys, and this one's a doozy. Episode 28. Fall of Mizimu Grove. This is the last piece of the puzzle we need before we can start tackling Season 3 properly. There's one more episode after this, but while it was good, it's kind of anticlimactic in comparison. As mentioned before, the Pridelanders are still on edge, but lucky for them, Makini the Mandrill shows up holding a root. But there's more, just keep watching. Oh, okay, Makini is in training for Rafiki's job, the Royal Majusi. See our Rise of Scar review for more information about that. Also, I need to give that one a better thumbnail. And the tree she's holding is actually a baobab tree, and it's part of a special ritual she's doing called the Mambo Papaya. The Mpando Mpaya. It's a special ritual used to induct the new Majusi into her new role. And Kion decides to use this to help lift everyone's spirits. Unfortunately, these little skinks tell Scar about it, and he uses it to his own ends. Oh yeah, Timon and Pumbaa are in this episode too, but they don't matter. Next! Things get set up for the Mpando Mpaya, everyone is there, security is high, and nothing goes wrong at all. Fire from the sky. Huh? So a bunch of flaming branches fall from the sky and start setting the baobab trees on fire. And this is when the Outlanders attack. We don't see them until the next storyline, but these fire sticks, as they're called, are being dropped by the vultures under Scar's employ. At this point, the Pridelanders are a proper fighting force. That means it's fight time! Yeah, everyone fights off the baddies and things look like they're about to win! But then Scar trips his final trap, showing up in person. Now, we need to remind you that only the royal family and the Lion Guard really know about the return of Scar. Everyone else was kept in the dark about it. Why? Because Simba was worried that it would cause a panic.
Panic and run! Panic and run!
Which it obviously did. The guard manages to calm the herds, but the secret is out. Scar is back, and his return left exactly the impression he wanted. And now the herds are discussing leaving the Pridelands. Simba gives them all until the morning to figure out their final decisions, but then Kion finds something that would change everybody's minds. Remember Makini's root? It's actually a baobab sapling, and, well, of all the things to survive the battle, this frail little sapling was among them. Kion says if that little sapling could make it through these dangerous times, so can they, but only if they stand together. Things are still dangerous, but his words move the herd to reconsider and stay in the Pridelands after all. After that, they finished Makini's Mpando Mpaya properly, and the season ends. Except for the next episode that doesn't have the same strong note of finality, but whatever. The end! The stage is finally set for the part of the show that people actually want me to talk about. Now let's quickly recap what that stage looks like. Scar has officially returned, and the once chaotic denizens of the Outlands are more organized than ever. In response, the Pridelanders are also more organized, but Scar's appearance and the constant attacks have driven fear into everyone. Most importantly, however, We have the seeds of doubt planted in Janja's heart about what he's doing. How will things pan out from all of this? We'll just have to wait and see in Season 3. Man, can you imagine a big scary bad guy from our past coming back to mess with us? Unlikely. Do you still serve those Mpando Mpaya things? Alright, sweet. One of those too, please. Cat.